From Washington, this is VOA News. A top al-Shabab leader is captured in Somalia. A New York police officer eulogized. I'm Vincent Bruce reporting from Washington. Zakariye Ismail Hersi, one of the most wanted al-Shabab commanders in Somalia, reportedly has been taken into custody. General Abbas Ibrahim Gurey, the commander of Somalia's government troops in the southern Gedo region, told VOA Somali service that Hersi was captured with his secretary. The general said Hersi, who had a pistol on him, did not put up any resistance during the raid. In June 2012, the U.S. offered a $3 million reward for Hersi's capture, describing him as an associate of former al-Shabab leader Ahmed Abdi Godane. He said he was not aware that the U.S. had placed a bounty on him. In New York City Saturday, more than 25,000 officers were joined at Christ Tabernacle Church by U.S. Vice President Joe Biden and other officials to pay homage to slain policeman Rafael Ramos. Ramos was one of two officers ambushed and killed December 20th by a man who later killed himself. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio.
Our hearts are aching today. We feel it physically. We feel it deeply. New York City has lost a hero, a remarkable man because of the depth of his commitment to all around him.
The two officers were assassinated at point-blank range as they sat in their patrol car on a Brooklyn street last week. North Korea has denounced U.S. President Barack Obama and blamed the United States for this week's intermittent internet outages, as well as those ongoing today. Pyongyang released a statement Saturday regarding Mr. Obama. This is VOA News. The spokesman for the Electoral Commission of Zambia says representatives from political parties and representatives from civil society and faith-based groups will travel to South Africa on Sunday to monitor the printing of the ballot papers for next month's presidential by-election. Chris Akufuna said an advanced team of officials from the ECZ left Zambia to South Africa last week to prepare for Sunday's visit. Some opposition groups expressed concern that the delegation includes officials from the Drug Enforcement Commission and other security agencies. They say the ruling Patriotic Front will use the security agencies to rig next month's vote to maintain the party in power. Akufuna denies that charge. Saturday, Ukraine's security service, says pro-Russian separatists released 4 more Ukrainian prisoners as part of a major prisoner swap. Ukraine President Petro Poroshenko addressed many of the 146 Ukraine prisoners released Friday in exchange for more than 200 Russian rebel captives. Poroshenko told the newly freed countrymen they would be able to spend the new year with family and military friends. The releases over the past 2 days bring to 154 the number of Ukrainians who have been freed. In Malaysia, Prime Minister Najib Razak has announced nearly $145 million for the nationwide flood victim relief as heavy rains remain in the forecast for the next few days in the nation. By Saturday, more than 160,000 people had been displaced by the rising waters, affecting at least 8 states. Pakistan's military says security forces ambushed a large assembly of terrorists near the border with Afghanistan, killing at least 16 of them and wounding 20 others. The government is focusing on intense anti-terrorism on all militant outfits operating in the country. The man who once tried, unsuccessfully, to kill Pope John Paul in 1981 Saturday laid flowers at the tomb of the late pontiff. A Vatican spokesman described the scene as Mehmet Ali Agha returned to the Vatican to lay 2 bunches of white roses at the tomb. Agha, from Turkey, was later forgiven by John Paul. John Paul visited his attacker in an Italian prison 3 years after the shooting and later interceded to gain his release in 2000. Agha was then extradited to Turkey, where he was convicted for the 1979 killing of a Turkish journalist. He completed a 10-year sentence there in 2010. More on all of our stories at voanews.com. I'm Vincent Bruce in Washington.
That's the latest world news from VOA.